Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Known Classics. This is episode number 2989 and episode number 2883. Got two members of the JLA basically discussed for the specific books. First of which, we'll discuss these issues just because of a backup feature of these issues. That's the reason I discuss these issues, but I want to discuss the whole thing. And I'm also discussing a whole mini-series for one character. The first book we're discussing is The Flash. Issues 289 to 305. The main reason why I want to discuss these issues is because these issues contain a backup feature for Firestorm. Yep, for some reason DC liked giving Flash backup features for various characters. First was Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and now it's basically Firestorm, and then it gets replaced with Dr. Fate. I'm not discussing Dr. Fate issues, that comes in issue 306. 300 and 305 don't contain this character's feature, but I'm discussing those anyways. Now, basically the main reason why is because there's a Firestorm backup feature in here. Which, in a way, this is the first solo appearance of the character outside of an appearance in Justice League America, since the cancellation of a solo title just nulling for this. But in the main stories, we have, like, in the opening story, we have, get this, Flash dealing with Dr. Alchemy and Mr. Elmite take out each other. And he points out, though, it's weird, it is weird, because they're the same exact person. And then the very next issue, after defeating them both, he hands out the prison. The Firestorm one is this because you demanded it. The Nuclear Man is back in action. Yeah, probably because people were not happy with the fact DC canceled a good title like Firestorm. So the success of this feature later led to a 100-issue ongoing series for Firestorm, which is discussed in the next comic board, by the way. Yeah, a lot of it is basically him dealing with Black Bison, and I think it was like Wonder villain that he has to deal with all these issues. Also some Tai Chi villain, but that's kind of what he deals with here. Flash mostly but deals with his bigger rogues, like Dr. Alchemy, of course, which is not exactly a very big known villain for him, but when people think of his villains, he's not exactly the first person people think of when people think of his villains. No. People think of Captain Cold. Basically, people remember as a rogue. So the opening feature done by Cary Bates and Don Heck. By the way, the backup feature deals with basically Firestorm. Of course, basically, Ronnie's girlfriend is a freaking feature in this book. Yes. And she later became part of the ongoing series after this. For a very good period of time until at a certain point. She's only in the Flash backup feature for issues 289, 291, 302, 303, and 304. And that's it. Oh, by the way, in case you're curious, did Ronnie marry her? No. Yeah. So most of it did flashback. And basically the whole thing is like with the backup feature in issue 289 is basically just after the Flash Firestorm just joined the JLA. Also, Flash, if you read these issues, he has a love interest. Yep, a love interest in the issues. Her name being Fiona Webb, which is her real name available later to be Beverly Lewis. And she was first introduced in 285 per se. And yeah, if you're curious of why she's featured here and where's Iris, I'll discuss that at a later point. Also, Patty Spivot is in the issues. Yes, Patty Spivot, who in post-Flashpoint decided to become Flash's girlfriend. Yep. And here's the thing, she was not introduced in the Flash. Nope, she was used in DC Special Series number 1. That was her introduction to comics. Yep, so in 290, after dropping off basically Dr. Alchemy, we deal with the character named Sabretooth. No, not Marvel's Sabretooth, it's the second Sabretooth. So he's the mentor of the second Sabretooth. Now, he was first introduced in Flash 234 He's a not a very well-known character. After these 2 issues, he's never seen again. This was return after issue 234. The Becca feature, basically, this one just basically retelling Firestorm's origin story, just more acclimates the character. And after, of course, issue 91, of course, then we have where 291 takes on one of the hyenas. Yep, one of them, because there's several of them. This is Summer Day. Yeah, this character would later pop up in the Firestorm ongoing series. Yep. She definitely would, but not exactly a big character in the book, per se. No, not really. But yeah, basically, Hyena's back. Basically, Jerry Conway, who's writing this feature, is trying to reestablish Firestorm after being gone for a little bit. In issue 292, Flash takes on Mirror Master. Yep. Oh yeah, I love the title of Firestorm, Hostage of Precinct 13, which is probably not the movie. Yep, after 2 issues taking on that character, he takes on the Atomic Skull, would team up with the Flash, which is so awesome. And then, of course, Flash, of course, in the main story, takes on the Pied Piper, when he was still a bad guy, of course. And, of course, the book was written by Jerry Conway. Yeah, he wrote both the opening and backup feature for the book. And here's the thing about the backup feature. The Firestorm story in this one was drawn by the late George Perez. Yep, one of the rare times he drew him. In 294, basically, Flash deals with Grodd and a man named William Dowson, who, looking at him, he looks like basically a Mysterio ripoff. And he's around for a certain period of time until he basically dropped out of comics. And then in the Becca feature, we have basically the debut of a guy who later became a character in, like, the very next feature. We also do with basically, like, the whole thing of this one is, like, set up basically the character Typhoon. Yes, Typhoon. Yep. So, and of course, you know, Grodd in the opening story by Carrie Bates. And then with issue 396, basically, Flash teams with his old friend, Elongated Man, to take on a crime-type circus. Well, of course, Firestorm deals with Typhoon in the backup story of that one. In 297, we have, in the backup story, we have Firestorm taking on, once again, Multiplex. Yes, Multiplex, Dancing Black, who was featured in the Flash TV show in episode 2. Yeah. Oh, in case you're curious though, is he a Jerry Conway creation? He is. He debuted in issue 1 of the ongoing series. Yeah, and he was brought back in the main ongoing right after this. He appears just for these 2 issues, and he next appears in the main ongoing. In the main story for 298, basically, the Flash take on Rain Raider, Shade, and the Top. The Top, for some reason, when they drew him in this book, they made him a bit chubby for some reason, and later on he was dating Golden Glider for some reason. Also, because this is pre-crisis, Nora Allen is very much alive. Unlike in the case of post-Flashpoint, where she was dead. Yes. Yeah, that was thanks in part to basically some crossover stuff related to Flash. And in 299, we have the Ram Raider basically trying to do crazy stuff to the Flash, and we have in the backup story they have basically Firestorm stop bank robbery. And 300, which does not feature the backup story, just a double-sided issue for Flash. 300 takes an Abracadabra with various guest stars in flashbacks. It's an excellent issue, written by Carrie Fates, artwork by the legendary and sad late Carmen Infantino, who comes back to the book, which is awesome. The fact he came back to the book. He actually would die in 2013. I never met the guy though, but man, he was one fantastic artist. Yep. Oh, in case you're curious though, how long he had been? Now, this was actually his return in the book. After his last issue he drew was, get this, he actually came back to the book with 296. After, like, his last regular, he'd been drawing since issue 105. Yeah, he was the first regular artist in this book, and he drew it for a really good period of time. He drew it up until, like, his last regular issue in a row was 176, and it basically was used sporadically after that for 178, 187, 184, 196, 201, 205, 208, 215. Came back for 209, 229, 232. This is the first time he drew since 232, and he's back in the book for the remainder of the book until its cancellation. Yeah, he's back for basically like be the final artist of this book. But yeah, also Barry Allen was actually in hospital for a period of time. He gets out of the bandages. And then we have 3 with the Becca features back. We have take on Golden Glider. This is when Top became chubby and looked like an old man for some reason. So we have Fires take out once again. We have Hyena in issue 301. In 302, basically, yeah, there's a funny moment where, oh yeah, Flash kisses Golden Glider. At one point, she thinks he is a Top, but not really. Yeah, and then basically, and I think in the case of the Becca feature for Fires, I think they kind of wrap up a bit for the whole thing of Hyena being Summer Day. And then, of course, we have the cover image of basically this is where the Top becomes chubby. Don't know the reason for it. And also 303 is this when basically Ronnie's girlfriend Dorian discovers her sister is Hyena. And in 304, which is the final issue, the feature of this one, basically deals with the wrap of the Hyena stuff. We also first appearance of Captain Computertron. Yes, a character who would not appear very much in comics. Yeah, he's simply a robot. Yeah, and after this issue, he would appear a couple more times after this issue, and appear even in the second volume of this series. Now, the last issue to discuss here is basically I read this issue. I thought basically continuing this issue, but I was mistaken. This is basically Flash team up with Dr. Fate and Jay Garrick to with Lords of Limbo. At one point, basically causing the wife, basically causing Joan Garrett's death. But it's a really fun story. Basically, the Orber Naboo, which is something subject to Dr. Fate, and this book basically, kind of in a way, will lead into a backdoor pilot into his feature, and that will lead into the next issue. I'll be right back. Go. My apologies about that, but it can't be helped. I drink a lot of fluids there at any time, so basically that's what happens. But what rating do I give these Flash issues? I give them a 10 out of 10 because they're amazing. Because Flash is always going to be amazing. Next up we have is a book that I never thought I would discuss this book, but I figured though, why not? Because I've discussed this back in feature already. This book already, so we're discussing the Elongated Man miniseries released in 1992, written by Gerald Jones. Yeah, the whole thing of this book is like, oh, let's have basically Ralph take his beautiful wife, Sue Dibney, on a trip to Europe. I'm like, what a nice husband he is. And in this book, she meets a man named Balto, which of course takes too long to do research on him. Oh yeah, this actually is old Green Lantern Sonar with a beard. Which, you look at the guy, of course they would Copperhead in this miniseries too. Yes, the original Copperhead. So they go to a party, and look at this guy. Yeah, this is Sonar. You look at it like, wow, that reminds me a lot of Vandal Savage away with that beard of his. Yeah. Turns out apparently he's the ruler of this country. And, by the way, he's not defeated by Ralph in this book. Oh no. He's defeated by Sue. By the fact that, oh yeah, like in the finale for this book. Okay, so they kind of do a little shenanigans with Europe. And then she gets her hands on the intercom and it's like, hello, people of Midoriya. Did you know your ruler is actually a notorious criminal known as Sonar? And he's a notorious dick? Also, he's a man who tried to hit on me despite the fact I'm married. And of course, people turn on him, and he, of course, he basically flees. But it's a funny miniseries, and it's a shame this book has never been collected. Nope, never has. I don't know the reason for it. It is kind of interesting to have a Elongated Man take on a Green Lantern like of all people, Sonar. You also have Mike Pembroke on the arc, but damn, this book was so freaking good. We also deal with basically Warp. Yes, an old Doom Patrol villain. Yeah, and he is here being a solo villain. It is surprising he's here without the Breath of Evil, the subject he's common associated with them. Yeah, and he's here for this miniseries just for the first 3 issues. He has not appeared in the last one. Nope. But it is an overall really fun series. I definitely recommend checking it out. It is so fun. And we did the first Prince character named Calamari, who's this weird villain who just appears for, well, in this miniseries, then he pops up in the final 2 is just like Europe. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Joe just created this guy just so he could have him appear in the end of his run for just like Europe. Yep, and here, well, Flash of course appeared in this book because he's part of the Just Like Europe at this point. We also have a group of villains, a group of assassins to deal with him, who only are here to be taken care of in the pages of Just Like Europe. Yeah, it's like, this book is mostly put to serve as a spin-off of Just Like Europe, just because it features them. And after this, they would next appear in Just Like Spectacular, which this particular book here would lead into a changing of books for the Justice League. This is after, of course, the events of Breakdowns. And apparently, like, this miniseries takes place prior to this very one-shot. Yep. But this miniseries is, of course, like I said, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this thing reading it again, because I read this thing some time ago, and yeah, just good. And funny, it's odd enough, for some reason, Elongated Man, it's like DC never thought of getting this really cool character in an ongoing series. Like, yeah, you have featured Flash, you have featuring Detective Comics, but not an ongoing series. Heck, not even a limited series for the character. This is only one. And you're thinking, wait, Joe Jones is the only person who can do a good miniseries for him? Oh, and here's something interesting you might find out, though. Did you know his anchor is still alive? Yes, the guy who helped create Elongated Man. And he's a very much older guy. Let's see if I find his name here. His name is Joe Gila. Oh, he passed away last year. Damn. And yes, I met this guy. Very nice guy in person. I did ask him this before I didn't know he passed away just now, because I met him at Comic-Con. Much older gentleman. I think he was around 80-ish when I met him. Like, it was shocking the fact that he was still alive. And here's the thing about him that you might find interesting. Did you know he had no idea Elongated Man was on TV? No, he had no idea about this. He was shocked the fact this happened. So I basically show a picture of what Elongated Man looked like on The Flash, and he seemed very happy the fact Elongated Man featured in The Flash, because he did ink his first appearance, so why not? Yeah. And I'm not surprised, basically, he wouldn't know about this, but he definitely seemed genuinely surprised the fact that Elongated Man featured on TV. And there was a guy with it, probably his son, or probably his grandson, like, oh yeah, he's featured on TV. He's like, he's on The Flash. Like, oh. If I could chance to meet Mark Guggenheim, I think I may have mentioned to him about, I probably should ask about this next time I see him, about if in fact that Joe Gila, the guy who was the inker for Elongated Man's first appearance, did he ever pay a visit to the set? Because I'm sure he would have been very curious to visit the set of Flash to meet the actor who played Elongated Man. Yes, I have heard about the reason why he was fired from the show due to some comments made online. So they had the character get his face burned, and then he left the show. Yeah. Oh, by the way, what did they give Elongated Man miniseries? 10 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's strictly a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and join the like button. Well, I'm going to go out for a bit, and I'll be right back to work talk about my next comic corner. Okay, next video. Bye.